Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. It's actually the same day as yesterday's video when I was pruning roses in my backyard, but I'm not ready to go inside just yet. I feel like I've been cooped up inside all winter and it's a beautiful day out and the sun is out and I need to go to the garden center. I have a list of things that I need to get and I thought it would be fun to bring you all along. All right, finally made it here with not too much traffic. So there are a lot of other garden centers that are closer to my house, but this is definitely my favorite one. It's the one that I feel the most comfortable with. It's the one that I know where all the plants are. I know that they'll help me out a lot. I just love this place. I love it so much. So I made a list for today of all the things that I need to get. I need to get my plant that I'm going to be planting for my January monthly blooming garden. I already told you guys what plant I am looking for, and that is a Daphne. I'm really excited because I've never actually planted Daphne. And then I just want to look for some winter color, winter bloomers, whether it be primrose or pansies or cyclamen or something. I just need some color. I need some color. Then I am in desperate need of a couple bags of seed starting mix because I'm trying to start so many seeds this year. I want to be stocked up. And then I also am going to treat myself to some new gardening gloves. They are emptying out the garbage right now. So if you guys can hear that, that's what it is. One thing that I am not going to get today, and I know I'm going to be tempted because it's camellia time. I am not going to buy a camellia. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to let myself look at them and see how pretty they are. They're already out. I can already see them in the front. They're beautiful and they are what I would normally use. It would be a great thing to use for my January blooming garden, but I already have so many camellias. I planted a ton of them last year, so I want to look for something different. So I'm not going to get a camellia this time. So you can see they have their bare root roses and fruit trees front and center because it is time. If you are planning to plant fruit trees or roses, I highly recommend you get them bare root. And this is actually what bare root looks like. They're just potted up so that they can last at the garden center for a little bit longer. But these are technically bare root. So these came as like sticks with roots to the garden center and then they just potted them up in these peat pots. They're so much better to plant bare root at this time of year than later because they're going to wake up in their own home. And you can see they're definitely pushing it. So this is Green Acres, Elk Grove. It is my absolute favorite garden center. Look at all this color. Oh, this makes me feel so much better. And then here's those camellias I was talking about. What are these? These are Kanjiro. These are pretty, but I'm gonna say no. And then here's the bare root roses. Oh, this just, man, I get so tempted when I see these, and you'll see further inside, they have so many more at this time of year, but I don't need any more roses. At least not right now, maybe next year. So here's my favorite seed starting mix. I just really like the texture of this stuff. I think it's just because it's what I'm used to. It's from a brand called EB Stone. I bought other seed starting mix from Home Depot and I absolutely hate the texture of that stuff. I hate it. So that was this is really one of the main reasons why I had to come today, because I needed to get some more of this stuff. All right, let's go outside. Look at all these. Oh, you know what? Now that I'm here, so this is one component of the Van Winden's Magic Rose Fertilizer Mix. Really, really fantastic. And I know for a fact I'm out of alfalfa meal. I'll put the recipe on the screen right now. Look at how cute. Love it. So one of the things I've been paying a lot of attention to this year is ground cover. That's something I definitely want to work on in my garden. For one thing, if I work on my ground cover, I need less mulch and I'll get less weeds and I'll have pretty stuff on the ground. So ground cover has definitely been on my mind, and I am planning to grow a lot of it from seed, or I should say some of it from seed. But then I just want to look here and see what else they have. Like, look at how pretty this is. What is this? Dragon's Blood Sedum. I am growing Voodoo. I think that's what it was called. Voodoo Sedum from seed. So we'll see how that goes. I did want to show you this here. This is Angelina Sedum or Stone Crop. And you can see it looks very similar to Lemon Coral Sedum from Proven Winners, but not quite the same. It's unfortunately just not quite the same. It's a little bit leggier and it's a little bit less bright, I guess I should say. So it's very, like, a lot of people will see Lemon Coral Sedum and compare it to this, and it's just, now that I see this here, it's like, it's just not quite the same. And so that's why I really love Proven Winners Lemon Coral Sedum, but this stuff isn't bad either. Vinca Minor is also a really, really beautiful ground cover. It's this beautiful dark green foliage and these pretty purple flowers, but I personally have like a visceral reaction when I see Vinca Minor, because at my last house, there was Vinca Minor absolutely everywhere. And it took me so long to get rid of it. It was taking over the entire garden. And so this is one of those plants I know a lot of you have dealt with, like invasive plants or plants that have taken over, and it's been so hard to get out of your garden. This is the one for me that, even though I love it, I don't think I'll ever plant it in my garden, just because I've been scarred so bad. It's so cute, but I just can't do it. So this right here, this is actually really interesting. I'm actually growing this from seed. I already started it and it's sprouting already. This is called Irish moss, and it's actually not a moss, which I had no idea. It's called Sagina or something. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's not a moss. It actually likes full sun and it likes some heat. And so I just thought that was so interesting. So I'm going to try this out. I'm growing it from seed, but I'll let you all know I'm going to be planting a lot of this year, just to see how it does. So over here we have Creeping Thyme and we have Elfin Thyme. And I'm actually growing Elfin Thyme from seed this year too. I've already bought the seeds for this. So you can see it's a little bit lower and more dense than the Creeping Thyme. I think both are really pretty and both would work really, really well as ground cover, keeping the weeds out and giving you just something green to look at rather than just soil or mulch or something like that. Now, one of my favorite ground covers is ivy. I know, don't do it. I just think this is so very pretty, but this can get invasive so fast. So trust me, very, very, very quickly. And it can choke out other of your plants. So although it looks really pretty and it would be a really good option for ground cover, I would say this is almost worse than the Vinca Minor. Even though it's beautiful, just say no. See the camellias? See how tempting they are. Oh, this is debutante, right? Debutante? Doesn't say. Yeah, debutante. There we go. Beautiful. I love it. I don't have it in my garden yet, so I do need it. No. Just say no. No. Okay, let's see if I can find the Daphne. Here it is, right here. So here you can see the Daphnes. There's the Rebecca over here, and then all the way over to the Perfume Princess. And what they are is they're compact evergreen shrubs that have really beautiful foliage. There's even some that are variegated, have these kind of yellow or white margins. But the coolest thing about this plant is that they start blooming right around this time of year. Look at that. And the blooms smell absolutely incredible. So it's a really special plant to have to give you some blooms and give you some interest at this time of year when there's really not much going on. So the different varieties have different sizes. For instance, this one, Rebecca, which is a Daphne odora. This one gets, let's see, 3 to 6 feet tall and 3 to 6 feet wide. Winter Daphne is the same. This is Daphne or odora marginata, which is a very common one. I don't want to say generic, but you know, the classic, I should say, classic. Then we have Eternal Fragrance, which is a little bit more compact, and I think that it blooms a little bit later, but that doesn't make sense because these already have blooms on it. Maybe they were blooming in the greenhouse or something like that. And then finally we have the Perfume Princess, which is supposed to be the largest and longest flowering of all Daphnes. So this is a plant that I am not familiar with at all. This is a new to me plant because usually at this time of year, I'm super focused on camellias, but I'm trying to branch out this year. So I don't really know the difference. I don't know which variety I like the most, and I don't want to just blindly choose something based on what I've read, because of course they can perform differently in all different gardens and all different climates and everything like that. So I think what I'm actually going to do today is I'm going to choose one of each. I'm going to choose all 4 varieties that they have here, plant them in my garden, and see which one I like the best. Okay, that's 3. Last one. There's a little better view. So you can see all 4 varieties. I'm going to plant kind of all around my garden and just see which one I like the best. I do want to take a look at these grasses because if you guys remember in my orchard garden, I have my river of lavender and I need to find grasses to plant on either side. What is this? Is this fescue? Yeah. Elijah blue. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty. This is a plant I am definitely planting this year. This is Platinum Beauty, Lomandra Platinum Beauty. This is one of Michael Glassman's favorite plants, and I think he's converting me. So that's definitely on my list. Look at how pretty these seed heads are. This is maiden grass, Gracilis. It's really beautiful. I'm gonna have to get some of that. That is just gorgeous winter interest. I know, I'm going all over the place. This is what I do at the garden center. This is also on my list for this year. I was never super into banana trees, but Erin from Patient Gardener, she's convinced me, and I was watching Gardener's World when we took a week off around Christmas time, and God, he loves his banana trees, and I think now I do too. So I think one of these is coming in my garden, and you can see they're evergreen. They're beautiful. Okay, I'm getting totally distracted, which is why I make a list when I come to the garden center. Okay, Daphne I got, seed starting mix I got, I need winter color, and I need some gloves. before I leave, I want to show you guys the inspiration for my pomegranate tree pruning adventure. So a couple days ago, I think it was last Friday, I posted a video when I pruned my pomegranate tree in my backyard from a shrub form to a tree form. And it looks interesting, but I have inspiration, and that is this tree right here. So I've been watching this tree for the past couple years, and I've been watching them prune it. So this is a pomegranate tree, and you can see that they have limbed it up to a tree form as opposed to a shrub form. And it's pretty big now at this point. I remember when it was a lot smaller, but they are definitely staking it, and they definitely pruned everything on the bottom so that it doesn't look like a shrub, it looks like a tree. And if you look really down close to the bottom, you can see all the suckers that they keep pruning as well. So it's just really interesting. It's interesting to see. This is one of the reasons why I love coming to garden centers, because there's so much inspiration as to what you actually can do. And the best thing is, this is going to do well in your climate. Your local garden center is what is going to do well in your climate. So if I can see that they can do this to a pomegranate tree, and I have an olive tree growing and lavender growing and rosemary growing, then I know what's good for my garden. Okay, all done. So anyway, I chose 2 varieties of gloves. There was a ton of people over by the gloves, so I didn't feel comfortable talking on camera, but I chose 2 varieties. The main thing that I needed for my gloves is I needed waterproof gloves. I really like my women's work arm saver gloves, but those are not waterproof, which is such a bummer. And so when I'm working in really wet soil or, like wet foliage or stuff like that, I would find that those gloves would get really, really wet really quickly, and then my hands would be wet, and I just didn't really like it. So what I really wanted to get was some waterproof gloves. And so I ended up getting these are called Watson's Quality Gloves Homegrown. They were nice, they were comfortable. They have like rubber, is that what it is? Latex, eco-conscious sandy latex coated palm. Okay, but these felt really nice. Like I could work in wet soil, and weed and all that kind of stuff. And then I got these are Hestra Job, and I thought they were really pretty, and they have the same kind of latexy material on the palms that hopefully will keep my hands a little bit more dry than the women's work gloves that I will probably use more once it's more summer and it's not so damp out. But right now I definitely needed some waterproof gloves. Anyway, that is going to be it for today's video. That was fun. I had been itching to go to the garden center, so I'm glad I could take you all with me. I look very silly in the garden center talking to myself on my phone, but that's okay. I feel like the employees are all used to me now, so it's fine. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.